keinen Bock mehr. Sondern, ey, jetzt ohne Witz. Ein Vorteil noch mal so ein Scheiß hier macht. Quitt ich endlos das Game. Kommt der mit dem Bot hier hin, ey? Was soll das? Ich werde jetzt den anderen Livestream löschen. Erstmal wieder den alten Livestream löschen. Das juckt mich alles gar nichts. Die ganzen Likes und dies, das, scheiß drauf. Ich lösche immer zwischendurch auch. Es kommen auch manchmal Leute rein, die abonnieren und gehen wieder. Weiß ich auch nicht was. Echt. Ne, so randoms, Alter. Ich gönn mir auch kein Abo. Hauptsache. So, jetzt kann ich den Scheiß da einsammeln. Und, warum habe ich zwei von den Scheiß hier? Haha. Digga, jetzt. Mann! Controller! Lauf nicht geradeaus! Bleib einfach stehen. Du weißt, wenn die Gegner jetzt kommt, bin ich tot. Der bewegt sich von alleine, braucht gar nichts zu machen. Der arme Bot. Ah. Soll ich dir was zeigen? Das ist ein Gegner. Doch. Du kriegst mich nicht mehr mit deinem Auto. Ja, willst du Bonbons? Die kriegst du aber nicht. Oh, ich habe ja einen Shotgun gehabt. Das ist gar nicht mehr. Nee, du darfst das nicht. Das kannst du noch nicht machen. Bitte nicht. Wenn du es machst, muss ich leider offline gehen. Nein. Was? Aufhören zu gucken? Okay, ich hör auf. Ich hab aufgehört, ja. Ja, alle tot. Tausend Kills. Ich hab von denen fast alle verfolgt. Außer einen. Einen habe ich leider nicht bekommen. Nö, der kann ich. Geiler Rocket Launcher. Wo ist der Junge? Verdammte Axt, Alter. Ah, Digga. Oh, Nita. Satt. Ja. Let's go. Nein. Wer ist Alex? Ja, ich. Aber ich höre den auch nicht. Der ist unsichtbar. Alex. Alex. Ja. Hilfe, Leute! Da kommen gerade richtig viele. Mann. Die haben da alle geschwitzt auf mich, die Gegner, ey. Oh, geil. Ich dachte, ich sterbe. Was ist das für ein Stein? Warum schießt der nur auf mich, der Pisser, Alter? So ein Hurensohn, Alter. Ach, Digga, nur er schießt nur auf mich. Was ein Keck, Junge. Porsche, Digga, ist ein Deutscher. Bestimmt Stream-Sniper oder so. Ja. Keck. 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 Ist ein Keck. Was auch immer Keck heißt, ist ein Keck. Ich habe nie nachgeguckt, was Keck heißt. Vielleicht dumm oder so. Ich auch nicht. Das ist so eklig, Digga. Deswegen zocke ich immer kreativ, weil Battle Royale nur Schwitzer drin sind, Alter. Ich bin... Ja. Ich habe auch keinen Bock mehr auf die Scheiße. Nur schwitzen, 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 schwitzen. 30 Minuten. 30 Minuten muss ich da drin bleiben, dann kriege ich Dings NFT Backbling, Mashallah. Ist das ein Skin oder was ist das? Für Backbling für 30 Minuten. Ich krieg Aggression bei dem Game, Alter. Der kriegt auch Aggression bestimmt. Jeder. Ja, du bist ruhig geblieben. Das war richtig so. Du. Verbindung getrennt, Digga. Du. Der ist klein. Und keine Ahnung, wer ist der? Digga, was passiert da? Schokoladeneis. Magst du Schokoladeneis? Wow, danke dir, wer auch immer du warst. Ich kann das weiter nicht sehen. Stabil. 100er Ping. Ich glaube, das waren sogar schon 3. Der vordere ist, Digga. Ping des Todes mit Kerem, Alter. Danke, Kerem. Digga, Kerem! Du hast immer noch Ozeanen an. Kerem hat... Oh ja. Ja. Guck mal, die Schwitzer. Schleckt. Perfekt. Das ist ja eine tolle Grafik. Die ist noch schlechter als meine. Junge. Kann ich mitspielen? Klar kannst du mitspielen. Boah, krass, ey. Super geil. Mein Stream ist besser als der Stream, der da drin ist, Junge. Oh, mein Ping ist wieder normal. Jetzt wieder nicht. Oh. Was passiert? Oh. Da hatte ich die ganze Zeit ein. Was hast du? Was sie? Was hast du? Die Freundschaftsansagen? Was ist? Der ist von Leo Wuwu. Ich komme grad. Achso. Das leckt bei mir extrem. Weil jemand Ozeanien die ganze Zeit ist. Es nervt da mit seinen Ozeanien. Ohne Witz. Oh, bei mir. Ich hab Kipper an, ey. Genau, ist richtig so. GG. Oh cool, da kann man ich hab gewonnen. Ja, ich hab geweitet. Und jemanden. Ah, warum spiele ich mit den Schwitzern? Gar kein Bock. Der hat einfach gewonnen ohne... What the hell? Der hat nicht gewonnen, der hat verloren. Ich habe eigentlich gar nichts gemacht, ich schwöre dir. Bin einfach gestorben. Ich will nicht mehr. Wir müssen 30 Minuten hier drin sein. Ich will die kostenlosen Dinger haben. Oh, da war gerade mein Wecker.
I do think that the zone pulled a little bit in their favor, but by zone 3, Queasy not only had a gold twin mag AR, a gold sharp tooth as well, 6 crash pads, but also had 2 mythics. They were set for success from the get-go. You see them get shot right there. That was the moment that kind of set them a little bit away, but no. Taking out Malibu.
Timmy! Was ist das denn? Shotgun. Hey, Shotgun. Ja, gegen den will ich nicht spielen, der schwitzt mir zu sehr. Die Schwitzer. Ich kann nichts machen, weil es laggt. Ich glaube, ich muss Kerem wieder rauskicken. Weil es laggt die ganze Zeit. So macht Fortnite keinen Spaß.
The environments can change. You never know what can
Ja, habe ich den auch schon gesagt.
happen. There isn't on your home screen.
Der kriegt das, glaube ich, nicht gebacken.
Have different playstyles you cannot possibly prepare for. So if there's anything we know about Cammy and Seti, when they do make it off spawn, I'm sure in the next games in the future they'll be absolutely fine. It's just getting to that end game for them might be a problem.
Yeah, and this is just the first game, right? Obviously with only
Die
5
Lags
with
hören nicht auf.
we don't want to be making mistakes.
Ich will was kaputt machen. Ich will die Map zerstören. Weil es laggt. Gib mal her. Die spannende Show. Komm rein. Was ist das denn hier? Oh, ich hab Schaden bekommen. Woher? Warum hast du eine Shotgun gehabt? Ich wollte auch eine Shotgun, warum krieg ich keine Shotgun? Die Shotgun. Geht nicht. Oh, Nichan. Sterben. Minuten ist so lange. Aber Backbling wäre geil.
When I get the opportunity to.
Yeah, you go ahead.
But
That's
they
why
had,
I said it.
I mean, Reet has just evolved as a player.
Muss höher liegen. Hat sich
The Yuki King to the point where you couldn't really contain him. But around zone 3 or 4,
Sure.
you saw him playing patiently. They towered up pretty early on, able to get those storm surge tags, and it wasn't until towards the end game that
muss
Reet
nochmal
really popped off and grabbed a few
Ja.
eliminations. They're not really a placement player. To see him get that second place spot or third place and eliminations as well. I mean, I'm just proud to see him evolve as a player.
Very difficult down those lower layers as well. Remember that end zone? It was all over water. It was an absolute mess. I saw King there swimming
Like a
through
shark.
like a shark down below,
So
trying to scoop up some loot. Of course, he ended up getting taken out. But those are the difficult times. If you don't have those materials, you don't have those refreshes. When you have the fragging power of Reap, that's where those refreshes come into play because you need those builds in that water zone.
Some would say those reet.
Die Frau sieht voll müde
Let's go
aus.
back to the leaderboard. Let's talk about more. Just seek things.
It's a Zeke.
Another duo we kind of highlighted at the start of the show in 6th place. You could see
Ika.
Gold and Acorn, right? They did manage to find themselves the 5 eliminations, but they're maybe lacking a little bit on those placements. Now, I feel like for me, rather than kind of like go through all these duos and kind of talk about everybody, I kind of want to talk
I
about
cannot
this
disrespect
endgame. Almost no one had
Digga. Sing sang song. Okay. Ich hab 300 Ping. Wegen Kerem immer noch. So eklig. Oh ja, lass mich doch. Digga, er kommt direkt gepusht. Kein Bock mehr zu fighten. Mit den scheiß Ping, Alter. Dann müssen wir das nochmal machen. Da habe ich keinen Bock drauf. Ich will die Dings haben.
Those mid-match objectives.
Du kriegst einen Backbling, wenn du 30 Minuten hier drin bist.
Now, at the start of the show, we talked about Kaysen, the online goat.
Nee, ein Backbling. Und ich glaube, ein Skin auch.
Kind of all-encompassing, just goat status. Paired up with Merstash after this game, right? This was a pretty decent start, right? And again, like, we have to kind of be mindful that, remember, there's 6 regions, just came out, there's a lot of jitter. After game 2, what can we see them adapt or change that might make game 2 crazier for them?
I mean, we saw them go for hike there. We saw
Wie Auftrag, nee, du musst hier drin bleiben. Das war in den Dings, wenn du LT gemacht hast. Das Neueste, was drin war. Stand da, muss 30 Minuten drin bleiben, dann kriegst du Backbling und sowas. Alter, kriegt meine Augenkrebs, wenn man näher rangeht. Amount of water, please help me.
And I think what helped them too is that they were holding second high on that mid-ground really well, where a lot of the top teams were kind of fighting for that high ground, or they were in the depths of the water below. So by being aware, situationally aware of where all the other teams are, and taking that advantageous position in the mid-ground definitely helped them.
For sure. Now, of course, that crazy moment in the victory out was wild. So we have the ability to listen in on the players.
Ich will näher ran.
But from Vino's perspective.
Was war das denn? Dead.
200 dead. I got it. I'm coming up. I'm siphon. Crash betting. I'm rocking. Okay. Oh yeah, I'm dead probably. I'm dead. Top 4, all yours. Land on.
Ich hab VIP-Raum hier oben.
Nice.
Ganz oben.
Nice. I'm tagged. Yeah. 2v2. Or one solo and a duo.
Die Schwitzer.
Top 3. You have Madness. Play Madness top 2. Play Madness top 2. Trust. I'll let you know if he gets knocked.
Ja, es
I got him. Yeah.
ist echt langweilig, aber... Die hätten mal halt einen Sieg hier reinbauen sollen. Wir können dich alle beobachten.
So calm, right? He's like obviously there is a bit of chaos in the moment, but Queasy just listen, just grab this. You're fine. Trust, you've got this.
Kerem.
Such a skill as well. I feel like not many people talk about it. When you are down and your teammate is solo clutching like that, the comms that you give are so vital. You can see Queasy just making sure that he is giving the absolute perfect comms, what he needs to know. Maybe he might have missed something. Maybe
Die Frau denkt sich gerade so, verdammt, meine Füße tun weh. Verdammt, ich bin so müde.
He cooked there was that rocket ram, using it to go straight up into the air. See where the rest of the remaining lobby is. Land down immediately and get that incredible shot. That's why we're seeing them in first place right now. 93 points to start off the day.
Banana.
A pretty decent lead relative to the rest of the lobby here.
And you know, I don't want to say necessarily bravery, but to use that rock ram in that situation almost is like it's risky,
Yeah.
right? Mad, high risk, high reward, but for him,
Perfekt.
one more to go. We had highlighted Cooper and Mira though in there.
So, Batterien wechseln.
As well as Alex and Worthy, or is there maybe a duo standing on these?
Deswegen ist hier
Mann,
Controller so.
Turbo, bitte komm runter. Die Runde ist bequemer.
Tja, kommst hier nicht hoch auf den VIP-Plätzen. Die VIP-Plätze. Ich dachte gerade, Blackboy ist im Stream drin. Blackjumpen 600er, 800er bringen. Black des Todes.
And I know that a lot of people tend to think that these competitions are going to be, you know, all EU and then maybe NA, but a lot of these, you know, smaller regions showing up right from the get-go.
And it's about making a statement in this first day, right? Remember, first 5, top 25 go on to grand finals on Sunday. So the job's not done. But it's about making those statements. It's about saying, regardless of what we do, if you see us...
Dieser 300er Ping, Alter, ich schwör dir.
Yeah, and I think you saw that in the reaction from Queasy and Benno, right? They were hyped, like they were happy. You got to be happy at winning first game of day 1 of the Global Championships, but they weren't too happy. They didn't let their emotions get the better of them. They were very, very cool, calm, collected in that interview, and I think that's absolutely vital for them because they know it's a marathon, it's not a sprint.
Yeah, and speaking of a marathon, we saw Baka kind of going on a marathon throughout that
Long
game
way
right there, grabbing so many eliminations, and part of it definitely has to be to that mythic MK7 that he had there.
Bravo,
600
Mami.
Storm Surge in the middle of the game, and by
Ich hab dir nicht Uwu Mami gesagt. Maschallah. Das sieht man ja, wo ich hingucke. Maschallah. Da habe ich gar nicht hingeguckt.
We're kind of hoping to see change going into these next 4, because remember, this is it. You want to end the day in top 25.
Yeah, I think I want to see less water next game. How about that? Can we get a little less water, please? I want to see low ground teams starting to do good. I want to see Omzo rise. I want to see them starting to play their way through the mid and low ground layers. So, yeah, a little bit less water, Kelly. I think, what about you?
And I always just
Wer ist denn dieser Rico?
change in different spots. I think that really makes or breaks these teams because although, yes, Queasy, you know, are an incredible duo in their own right, they did have an advantage by the zone pulling in Southeast. So by showcasing, if they can get another VR, if it pulls all the way to the Northwest, well, that's what makes them champions.
Geht langsam runter.
Sure, and I think I feel like we'd do an injustice, one could say, if we didn't talk about the X factor that wasn't part of this game. Cammy and Seti.
Das war's wieder.
If they had been alive, how different would this endgame have been?
I mean, who knows is the question, right? I mean, these guys, of course, Queasy and Benno are a fantastic duo. They won on high ground, but Cammy and Seti can disrupt lobbies like that. They can play their way through those mid-ground layers. And of course, sometimes we've seen them. I mean, we talked about it at the beginning of the show, how they're able to go for high ground now. We saw that sort of course, as you mentioned, they're not necessarily labeled as a hype team necessarily, but they can do it. So if anyone can sort of contest those guys, maybe it's them.
I mean, showcasing though that they did have that rough start. I don't know exactly how their positions would have been towards the mid and late game there. And I think by having that rough start, if they did make it survive into the end game, they probably would have stuck to the low ground. And we saw how chaotic that low ground was. So I don't know if they necessarily would have even attempted to go for high ground, especially with the two duos of Queasy and then Thomas HD's going up on high. I think that they, you know, may have not even had that great of an end game if they did make it there.
Okay. So what we're saying is people are fighting over high ground.
Yeah.
We want more of that because
high ground
more
wins games.
Fun and that too.
Yeah, I mean, Queasy Benno, they won 6 games out of 12 in Major 2 from high. So it just, if that's anything to go by, I think all the teams want to be on that high ground for sure.
I'll say something. I want to see Booga again in game number 2. He held out so long as a solo player, which is something you would expect with someone as much experience as him, being able to understand when to leave a fight, how to rotate away from everyone else through the dead side rotation, and I think he could do even better with threats.
Yeah, that was a kind of a difficult situation we put in, right? So many people landing there at Mega City, losing threats. very, very early on, and then there's just so much pressure. You can't go for the reboot. You can't try and make something happen. He did still manage to find eliminations, right? That's still points. We still are working towards something, but I think you're right, Kelly. With threats there, it could be different, Mini.
Yeah, definitely. And we saw Booga actually going down to Surge there. He was trying to be a little bit too aggressive because he needed that Storm Surge damage. And when you're only one of two, it's so difficult to do double the damage that you
Digga, was macht ihr da, Alter? Ja, total
Only
langweilig, oder?
174 below at that point is a credit to how much damage and how much aggression
Digga.
he was showing in that mid game because he needed to do it. But I mean, it's Booga. He can make anything happen.
Yeah, and this is still just game one of day one.
Yeah.
There's so many more opportunities for these duos to change up their play style and potentially pull out something we haven't seen before.
That's right. Well, let's hear from Frankie, who's actually standing by because we want to hear what's going down in the crowd.
Well, I think Copenhagen thoroughly enjoyed game number 1. Did you love it, Copenhagen?
What the fuck? Schreibt der.
Are you happy that it was a European victory? Let me hear you. I have met a couple of Americans who's traveled
Was hat
all
die
the way
an
here. I
da?
don't know if there are many North American fans in the audience.
Ist da
Do we have
Alufolie auf
North
ihren...
America? That's not bad, and don't forget this is the
That's
Friday,
not
so the audience
bad.
is still arriving because people are coming from work. Maybe someone's plane was delayed. What about Brazilian fans?
Gib mir Feuer.
On the Brazilian fans to show up
Das
for
will
their
ich
players.
schreien.
Any esport, any game, the Brazilian fans always give love. We've also got so many Japanese players on stage as well. I did meet a lovely Japanese fan who came in just for the... Oh, I love it. They've all gathered over here. We literally have a row over here of the Japanese
Digga.
fans. Oh, we literally have an entire group of people who are in jerseys who are here to support the Japanese players. And what about Middle East and Africa? Oh, well, we've certainly got some of the crowd going, and I can't wait to hear how things hot up as the competition continues. For now, let's head back to the desk.
Voll abgebremst. Durch den ganzen Schrott. Was denn? Die Kerre? Was ist denn dieser Rico? Ricola. Ja. Ja. Keine Ahnung. Aber bestimmt noch was.
Oh, just a bit indeed. So gentle.
Oh, geil.
I mean, yes,
Machen
there is
Bock
a
bald.
little bit of banter going on online, but there's also a
Oh, warum ist das hier so?
But I want to talk about Reet and Ritual. I already talked a little bit about them, but I just want to showcase how they were able to make it into the end game there. And as we can see, 5 eliminations and that second place spot. I mean, that's a great start.
It's a great start from this team. I mean, we've seen these guys. I mean, we've seen Marie performing on these international stages before. Not quite having the best results that we would expect from his caliber. He's crazy. He's going to be hopping in boxes as we get to have a little look at some of the highlights from them. Of course, Ritual putting on such a great show there as well. And again, this is what we talked about earlier. They're just able to pick up refresh. You can see Reet right now.
Oh,
0 builds. He thrives in these environments. When he's got nothing, when he's down in the dirt, he can just pull something out of the bag. And you can see it right
Stell
here.
mal vor, du hast eine
He's got all the
Chance,
to make it happen.
mit
As much as
den
possible.
Leuten zu spielen. Ich würde sagen, nö. Bin weg.
Second place for those guys. That hill wasn't in the way. A
Die
little
Suchti.
Reet versus Venno 1v1. I want to see it.
And I love just him showcasing there all of the ability that he has.
Yeah.
The quick build, the
Bummeling
easy
home.
edits, great eliminations, the patience as well as the aggression. I mean, that's what it takes to be a top player. It's not just having good aim. It's not just having game sense. It's having it all.
Yeah, and I think what that gameplay showed me, and actually something we've kind of seen a lot of, and more players have kind of shined a light on, is the sneaky tactics, right? It's not about, let me just run at you. Some of these players are playing
Israel
so
Fight geht
many
immer noch
ways to
weiter.
kind of know there's a threat incoming, but for so many
Nicht
players,
geil.
they're kind of utilizing the strategy where we're just going to crouch around, we're going to come around this corner, we're not going to build, we're not going to make any sounds, and then suddenly, bang, we're here, and now you're in a fight for Reet. this took him up to 2nd place.
Yeah, absolutely insane. I mean, we saw him there with the exotic shotgun just doing so much damage jumping.
Digga, was ist das?
Shotgun and him are like a match made in heaven. I mean, it's the perfect shotgun just to jump in the box and go crazy with.
Bing bang bong.
I think so. It's all about after game number 2. What's going through their head right now? How do you even pick up from a game where I'm sure they would have hoped to have won, but they couldn't have got off to a much better start than that. Only 1 place.
My only concern is that they can be a bit of emotional players, and being emotional is you know, it's a double-edged sword. It does give you that passion, that excitement, but then it also can be a big detriment where once you're down, you are down for the rest of the competition. Now again, I think the evolution of these two as
Nein, mach aus.
they've been able to kind of break
Es leckt zu sehr.
wall. But I mean, my goodness, game number 1 and just so many
Ding,
so
dang,
many new teams also coming through and kind of showcasing their region. And I already talked
Mashallah.
about the Mo. Baka and Pars. Baka and Pars getting
Hat keiner gesehen.
eliminations
Hä,
in
was?
the game.
Was?
I mean, they just seem to have
Ich hab nichts gemacht.
They managed that so really
Ich
well.
hab
We saw them take that
in den
fight
Fernseher
on the
geguckt.
north side of the map, which did drag out a little bit. Of course, a 2v1 situation, you want to be getting that done.
Hä, was? Da war nichts.
ASAP. So with them, they have to spend a little bit of heals, of course, but that did give them the storm surge damage. I know Taco mentioned it on the storm surge damage at this point. It's a testament to their fighting ability, and you can see it again, needing those refreshes, hopping in the box. And recently, these guys have really been impressing me. They've been cooking, they've been doing really good. I mean,
Ja, das ist dieser Rico.
A sliver
Keine Ahnung, wer
of
das ist.
literally 1 HP. But what he did is incredible. The confidence that he has. He didn't run away and turn tail, which a lot of these players would do.
Das,
Instead, he
auf einmal
kept going
schon.
for that refresh, and clearly it worked out for them. Pars,
Woher
unfortunately,
kommt
getting
dieser Rico?
1v2'd there, but
Ah ja.
these guys actually played with different teammates at the Invitational, so I think those land jitters, they're not going to be
Es leckt auf
affecting
einmal.
those guys
Der
quite
ganze
as
Stream.
much. That's why they got off to
Ist das
a
bei
very,
dir?
very good start there, despite the zone pulling all the
Nee,
way
danke.
south.
Ich wäre
They had
offline
all the
gegangen
answers
für
to all
immer.
those questions, and I think in this stage, in this environment that we're in, that's the most important thing, just trusting your game.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Well, we're getting word that game 2 of the day is ready. So let's send it back on up to the
Ja.
Thank you so very much, Zeke, and that's right. We're really beginning the reset right now. Game 2 is just moments away, and as we already know, we will have to see what will happen with Kanata on the drop here alongside Aegis. Aegis put up the numbers, but here it is. Game
Im Moment leckt. Nicht aufgegangen. Timme!
And just like that, we are right back in it with match number
Holy
2
shit.
of day 1 here of the upper bracket of the Global
Mal weg.
Championship.
Seh nix.
Again, Monster, you were just starting to touch on it, but some of these initial 50-50s, particularly that one,
Jetzt sehe ich gar nichts mehr.
not going the way that maybe some of these players might have expected.
And crazy, look at this, the 50-50 Stain and Datus landing directly on top of Seti and Cammy. Really looking to play upset here. Seti quite doesn't land perfectly inside. He doesn't get a weapon first, but Cammy does. Cammy does exactly what he needs to. Get
Ja.
the finish here, gets the siphon as well. And it's all in his favor right now. Here comes the pressure.
But it's all up to Datus to keep the hopes of Asia alive
Boah,
here.
je-
They
dann
managed to
würde ich
pull out
Aggression
number one.
kriegen.
Seti, though, relatively low. We see Kanata
Wenn ich
as
da
well.
spielen würde, würde ich Aggression kriegen. Bei jedem Death, den ich hab, dann, Digga, ich würde ausrasten.
To build as Datus now looking for a little bit of a wraparound just outside
Der
of
wird
this
heulen.
barn. Datus getting some nice shots. Seti will go down. Now it's just a 1v1 between Cammy and Datus.
Man, Datus really showing us what he is capable of. Coming second, the FNCS major thing for the Asian region, but no, comes in and Cammy finishes the job. They strike back, but it's not over yet. Meanwhile, it looks like Kanata and Agers have also finished
GG.
the deed on their side of the map. You got to think, look, Kylie Fastroki listening to what's happening here. So Cammy and Seti are not safe just yet. Meanwhile, North, Pars, Baka.
Ach ja.
But it started with Pars and Baka getting that early duo elimination onto Misha and Teeny, and whether or not they can
glaub, noch
look
10
for a
Minuten sind so.
repeat instance is all going
10 oder
trying
15
to
Minuten
take
müssen
a
wir noch
more
machen.
aggressive push here.
We
Hall of
do
Whispers.
have to
Nicht
bounce
schlecht,
back,
ja.
though. We absolutely... Take a look at how Kanata,
Der da.
with the redemption shot here, opens up onto Malabuka.
Oh ja,
The greed
sehr
was
schlecht.
real. He finishes him off, and then Thomas HD.
Die sind alle schlecht.
The shoes were changed.
Kriegen eine Kammerstelle. Oh mein Gott.
On the other foot here, they secured a slurp truck. Get the double angle and Kanata.
Guck mal, wenn er den Dinger. Nein, wie die schwitzen, ja.
And now they have a chance to fight
Keine
back
Chance
here.
hat der
We
gehabt.
could be seeing both of them in Sunday finals.
If it wasn't for that slurp truck, things might have looked a little different there for Kanata, because I don't know if you noticed, but only 8 shots left. in
Warum
that
haben die
game.
immer diesen Ganzkörperkondom an?
But again, now it's going to be Thomas and Malabuka who are left to sit and simmer, wait to see
Finde ich
whether
gar
or
nicht so
not
schön.
they can finalize things there in game 3.
Crazy to think too. There's only 5 games, right? And all of a sudden now, 2 of our favorite duos, one from EU and NA,
Cool, es leckt wieder.
here to really sit, make a big deal and
Kehren sein Ozeanien.
really showing you that, hey, there's a limited number of opportunities. You gotta make the best of it. I told you, Fistroki and company might be coming on over, and look at this. They're here to play upset.
Cammy and Seti, they might have dealt with Stain and Datus at the beginning, but they still have plenty of work cut out for them. For Strokey, just slightly above Cammy for the time being. Cammy, though, doing a good job utilizing these builds. Some brick gonna be going out. Not enough yet for Strokey to feel comfortable. And it's Cammy with that left side peek, bit tough to try and work with.
Pizza.
Seti watching the side angle here, seeing if he can take advantage of any
Dann
opening.
dauert es nicht so
Crack on the
lange.
armor here. But Fistroki putting the pressure on. Starting to run low on ammunition here, so he will have to be careful or make a decision here to full commit. Instead, gets punished first, cutting right through the overshields and
Was ist das?
shield pop there, so he's gonna have to dig into it. Meanwhile, Kylie with the side angle, suppressed pistol, putting in good work here. We like the angles, but said he's clapping back. Ooh, another great angle. Cammy really hitting the tags when it matters right now.
That's tough for Kylie as well. I mean, he's really got to get up close and personal. That suppressed pistol going to be difficult to work with in comparison to that sharp tooth. But Cammy, Seti, they are not willing to budge. They are staying as close to each other as possible because they also want to make sure they stay in contention of this capture point, not trying to let it go for free towards Kylie and for Stroking. It seems for the time being they have successfully managed to push them off entirely. So it does look as though Cammy and Seti are going to buy themselves just enough time, and the capture point will be in their favor.
Meanwhile, Pink and Vico lurking nearby. They're contesting half of the split off of Acorn and Cold. But now, on the other side, Slappy Shores, Tayson, and Verstash. Here's the team that can truly take home the grand finals if they can make it there. Definitely a pick, indeed.
What a tower base, though, for Tayson. I mean, you got a couple of Medmis waiting, ample amounts of shield potions, including a couple of big shield potions. So for Tayson, his sole responsibility for the time being is just to establish as much surge damage control as possible. And it looks as though the Limpy tells a different story, or actually a same story if you're Pars and Baka. Because for the time being, Teeny at least, no longer in the lobby.
Yeah, Pars and Baka turned online now and get the finish onto Teeny. There it is. So the full finish onto Misha and Teeny, both sent back to the lobby. Meanwhile, there is another duo lurking from above, Chubbs and Bryce, looking on down, trying to see what they can do to influence this exchange here. Can they find tags to go ahead and put themselves in a successful position? So far, so good, but these are absolutely important exchanges here. And listen, Pars and Baka, man, you got to give them some respect, dude. When it comes down to performing, you would have thought at the Invitational, hey, look, we don't have LAN experience, what's going to happen? Nope, they are here showing that they didn't need it. And they're even better than the last time we saw them.
Don't really need LAN experience if you can just trust your instincts as a player, and that seems to be exactly the mentality here for Pars. Just breaking through Teeny's builds. Teeny, absolutely no hell to work with in that circumstance. But it's a nice establishing point there, because now that is 2 games back-to-back. That's going to start to pose a real issue here, because again, Monster, it's only 5 games, and for Misha and Teeny to be knocked so early on, they've got some ground to really make up for at this point.
A lot of ground to make up. Recover to be made here, but Acorn, Cole looking good so far.
vibing out here, trying to see if he can farm some Surge in a distance. Meanwhile, Ritual will find a knock onto Edgy. Performances, especially with such a strong game one, and then an even better start to their game two so far. Very, very interesting duo right here.
Just kind of floating around for the time being into this jungle biome, and Yuma, NEIN doesn't seem as though they have any other incentive for the time being as far as aggression is concerned.
Ich denke, dass